Hello there. So, welcome to the Sparkle Experience Show, episode 48. And today we're going to be talking about the power of no, not the power of now, but the power of no. And this is a way to get your frequency reset, get realigned, and it's something that most people don't think about too much. This no, an no, simple no, firm, clear, and rooted in your truth, your alignment to you. This is powerful. This sometimes even more powerful than a yes, which opens up opportunities. A no, when it's done right, it preserves your wholeness. It preserves your energy, your if you want to think of it as your nervous system, your whole beingness. And this is a topic I wanted to touch on because for me, I never used to know how to say no. Because one, it's one of those things I said in the newsletter, the Sparkle Source, that we'll be covering the three archetypes of no. Well, the first one is people pleasing. It is trying to be everything and anything for those people who are around you, who you want to get on their good side, or you want to make them feel happy or happier. You want to be everything to that person without putting yourself, considering yourself and what is necessarily good or bad, but just wanting to just please. It's that hesitancy that sometimes has a feeling of guilt in there. It overrides sometimes everything in your body that tells you no, you shouldn't be saying yes, you should say no, whether it's because your body is really tired and you need to take a rest, whether it is your heart is saying that you don't want to, this is not something that will make you happy or them happy, something's telling you it's not the right thing to do, or maybe it's something that's wrong that you shouldn't actually be doing. And so this no dissolves your frequency, your feel good frequency. It leaks your energy and it affects your identity. And I, for many years, I didn't actually realize that I didn't know how to say no. I would just say yes just because it made me feel happy. And it's that false sense of happiness. Then there is maybe, okay, it's not always false, but sometimes it's really not taking yourself into account. Then there's a hardened no. And so the second archetype, which is defensive no, that has an armor around it. It's that protection that developed, that happens when you've learned to set boundaries because of past harm done to you or experienced by you. It often cuts others off because you're so protective of yourself. And it really can isolate you. When we recalibrate this, we want to connect with your real yes, with Sparkle, to connect with that real beingness of saying yes joyfully. This no, we somehow get to realize that this no is really a forced no, and isn't necessarily beneficial to you if you really open up to what is in that question that you said no to. If we go back to the people pleasing, the dissolving of the reclaiming of that safety, being able to stop people pleasing and start to really, before you say yes, to consider looking at the whole picture. And once you do that, gently but firmly saying no if that is the right thing to do. And then there is the sovereign no. It's that no that's calm, it's clear, it's unwavering, and it's coming from a sense of you respecting yourself and others, and you knowing what it is that your boundaries are. It's awareness of others and the energy around, and that it's also aligned in who you are and what your values are. and what is available to you in terms of your nervous system, your energy. And this no is liberating because it's you showing up fully in that awareness of what it is you can offer. And it's that no that can reset your own frequency by sending it out with love. Actually, the no sent out with just really a no. There's no story needed. It's just a simple no, respectful no. And maybe if there is some considerations that need to be made, it can be looked at a different time, but in this moment, it's a no. So, what is all this about frequency related to the no? What is it that I am trying to explain? And I'm getting the hopefully the archetypes give you an idea of what these no's are related to. Today, we live in a very fast-paced society. If you are a high performance person, you are high functioning, a lot of times you're borderline burnt out. You might be feeling that you're doing too much and you may be feeling depleted in energy. And so the question I have for you is, have you been saying yes too much and not enough of the no's? And if you look at yourself and look at when you said yes, when you should have said no, what would have happened if you had said really what was in your heart or that you felt in your body with that no? What would have happened if you had said that no? And for me, I mentioned at the beginning that I didn't know how to say no, and that I always was used to say yes. And maybe now today I maybe say too many no's instead of yeses, because sometimes I've been told that my first impulse is to say no. And I thought about that just recently, actually, because the power of no came up as a topic for the Sparkle Source, which is my monthly newsletter. And the power of no, we've heard all about the power of yes, being able to say yes to what shows up and to empower yourself to go after the opportunity. And yes has a beautiful energy. It's that expansive energy of opening up to possibilities and to going above and beyond what you think you're capable of, taking on challenges that you step up and into. And that's expansive. And that is a great thing. It is. It is. If you want to make forward motion into your goals and your dreams, that is a wonderful thing. The no's, the ability to say no, it has a different flavor to this. It's more, this no I'm talking about, it is that no of embodiment. It's taking in your whole self as a container and being able to look at it through a connected and in tune, self-aware, comprehensive view of what your personal stated. It is an embodiment of all that you are, your values, your energy level, your dreams, your hopes, your direction, your purpose. It's that no that takes into account your bandwidth, your boundaries, and also that feeling inside of you that is your gut, your knowing, your intuitive sense of what is safe and what is unsafe or not healthy for you, or what is right and what is wrong from an integrity point of view. So all of this is why I say that no, it's not no for the sake of saying no because you're lazy or you just don't want to do something. It's a no of that that soulful, loving no that really wants to respect others, desires and is there for others, but at the same time takes into account how best to support you, serving in the best way others, doing your whatever those actions are that you decide to be involved in, or situations or events or work that you go into. So it's that overall, if you will, consideration in coming to a yes or a no. And you might think it's a simple thing, but I hazard a guess to say that if you are feeling burnt out, if you're feeling depleted, if you're feeling stressed, and that you're not sure which way is up, that if you consider why you're in this particular state, it's because you've been unable to, or you've had to be saying yes to too many things and not able to, even when you could, you have not been able to just without any story just say, no, I can't, maybe next time, or this is what I have on my plate. This is what you asked me to do. This is either, I do this and that, or this and that, or it's just standing up and saying, no, I can't. And I'll give you an example. Well, it isn't the example, it is the reason why when I was in university, I learned the very hard lesson that I needed to know how to say no, and I needed to have a process through which I would get to my yes and stand in my no. And maybe this example will help you to look back on your life too, and maybe determine if you're still saying too many yeses, and if your yeses impacted you in a way that may be similar to how it impacted me. And from here, making a decision to look at how you want to be making decisions going forward, and perhaps sparkle frequency can help as we get into that part of this podcast. So what happened was, I had, in my first year of university, I came down with what I guess nobody really wants to come down with, which is, I think it was either chicken pox or measles, but I think it was chicken pox. And because of that, I had to leave the university for a few weeks until I got better. And then when I was about to come back, the dean of sciences called me into his office and advised me to take the year off because I had missed too much in all my science subjects, and the exams were just a week or so in the future. And I said to him that 2 weeks off was not a big deal, and that I would be okay, and that I would continue. And what occurred was, I was just doing fine, except for I was in a girls' dorm, and I had a classmate who knew I was good at biology, and midnight to about 4 a.m. in the morning, she had been in school the whole time, and I had got notes and I knew the stuff, but I wanted to review the material before the exam the next morning. And when I set my mind to something, I get it done. And what happened was, she came into my room, knocked on my door about, pardon me, about 4 times to get me to help explain things to her in the middle of the night, when I should have been doing my own review. And I should have told her no, and I would have been okay, except I didn't tell her no. And what happened was, I was determined to get through all the material. And so I ended up not sleeping enough, and at the exam the next day, I could not even stay awake, much less do the exam. And for the first time in my life, I failed at something, and it was devastating because I had never failed an exam. And normally I go like this and I flip through things and I study. I can pick up concepts really fast, and but I was so tired I couldn't even think to read the question on the exam paper. And after that happened, it was a difficult journey to get my, self-confidence back, because that does something to you when you flunk a course, putting it mildly. And I learned from that how to say no, and that I had to say no, and the parameters around saying no and when to say yes. And maybe if you look back in your life, maybe you have a time when you know that everything told you you should have said yes, and you should have said no, but you said yes, and in the aftermath of it, it affected you or someone else close to you, or your dreams and your hopes, and therefore you didn't quite make what you had dreamed or hoped about because of that not saying no at that time. And so as we talk about this, if you have any questions, you can pop it in the chat. And if not, send me an email, info@mentormem.com, if you have a question. I'll be happy to go a little bit deeper. I cover this in my Be CEO of You 90-day program, which is right now open for enrollment until the end of this week. You can find more information about that at https://bceof.com on the screen. And why this is important is because no, being able to say no, it's really sacred. It allows you to stay at your optimum level of performance. And it's a very misunderstood, misused, and underestimated impact of saying yes when you should have said no. That no can also, when you say it, if you haven't gone through the thought process and all the analysis of when you should or shouldn't say no, what often happens when you say no is you can be ridden with guilt or feelings of inadequacy, or all of these feelings of maybe not doing your part, and there's that guilt. And it can also put you in unsafe situations when someone orders you to do something in an unsafe situation, in a work environment, for example, which is where that sometimes happens. And if you're unable to say no and stand in that no, then it could put you in jeopardy of your safety. So this is the reason why I wanted to talk about no, because we're often rewarded in the work environment for being agreeable, even in personal life, for being agreeable, for adapting, for overgiving, but really to be able to look out for others and yourself, and being able to use that no word when it is warranted, is being in alignment and following what your system, your nervous system, your whole body is telling you, when sometimes it's screaming at you by a feeling you have to say no, and you are going against it by doing what it is that your body is saying no to. So this is me asking you to pay attention to your body, to what your sense is, to test out whether you should say yes or no, and to be able to feel good about when it is that it comes to you that you need to feel good about being able to say no, hold firm to your boundaries, not make it an overextension of your bandwidth, your energy, and thinking of it as a limitation or something that is not good by saying this no, because you're not being all and everything to everybody. Again, to make sure that when you say the no, it's clear, it's coherent, it's unapologetic, where you just state it, and there doesn't need to be a story when you're standing in who you are in alignment with your values, and you're grounded and centered in just being present. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to cover today in this episode. And this is one of the core sparkle frequencies, as I mentioned. If you're not sure what your yes feels like, then try on some questions around decisions by saying yes and seeing what you feel in your body, and then saying no and seeing if you feel light or heavy. So typically, if it's not good for you, you'll feel a sense of heaviness. And then if it is good or better for you, you feel a lightness, like being outside in fresh air and really enjoying the space you're in. So having said that now, there are a lot of points that can be made around the no situations. And I have a bunch of those that if you would like to get a copy of the pointers on how to feel good about saying no, you can DM me and I will be happy to email you the list. Okay, so right now let's go into a very quick sparkle segment, and we're just gonna get tuned up and allow the stresses of this day to dissolve and come back into our yes state. Okay, so if you would like to, please, whether you're joining live or on a replay, just see a beautiful light coming from the heavens to the top of your head, to your crown chakra. Just see that beautiful light, gold, sparkly, perhaps with silver and gold streams of light coming from the heavens, and then allow that light to go all through your body wherever it's needed. And as you breathe in all the blessings, all the goodness, energy from the heavens. And as you breathe out, just allow everything that's not serving you, all the guilt, the regrets, the concerns, the worries, anything that is not of highest good for you, allow that to leave through the window, through the door, through the cord at the bottom of your feet, to your very own special crystal, where Mother Earth grounding energy can cleanse the energy, and then allow Mother Nature healing energy to get infused into that energy, and as it comes back up, allow it to join this beautiful cosmic energy already circulating in your body through and through. And then what I want you to do is picture yourself feeling beautifully, powerfully energized. Feel yourself grounded in all your values that you hold dear to you, family, integrity, love, belonging, whatever those are for you, care, consideration, and just feel all your values. Ground and align with those. See yourself safe and secure, standing tall and proud, beautiful inside and out. Think about the boundaries for safety that you set for yourselves. And then allow yourself to feel into viewing all your decisions from a space of knowing yourself, awareness of your values, consideration and care of those you love and others you work with, play with, do things with. And see yourself able to make decisions with clear yeses and nos from your heart, honoring yourself, respecting yourself with care and love. And as you do that, just breathe in all the goodness, all the blessings, all the beautiful energy that is there for you to receive. Breathe out everything that's not serving you. All the things that cause you to say yes when you should say no, allow that to leave you. Give it permission. And then when you're ready, you can wiggle your fingers, your toes, and then come back to center. Open your eyes gently into the now. And then with that, what I'd like to do is to wish you beautiful decision making by being able to set your boundaries, honor yourself, your values, your bandwidth, and to be able to, with love, give yeses and nos from your heart without that guilt of yeses with where you should be saying no's. Okay, and so again, if you'd like to delve more into how to show up, be more CEO, Chief Executive Officer of yourself, to be able to be more in control of your emotions, your feelings, your energy, all of that, to have a sense, more clarity. In my 90-day signature Be CEO of You program that is open right now for enrollment for a few more souls, you can find that at https://bceofyou.com. If you have questions, you can email me at info@mentormem.com. And there will be a lot of areas covered. It is not just any course or a course, or it is not therapy for sure. What it is, this is a container for frequency, alignment, reset, recalibration, as well as empowerment with the system, the strategy, tools that are proven to empower you to be a better CEO of yourself with the added benefit of sparkle frequency. So if you want to find out more about how this all works, I encourage you to listen to Greg Braden on his interview with Lewis Howes. That was earlier this year, and listen to him explain about entanglement, about your cells and neurons and DNA being antennas that are multi-sensory, meaning they get multiple signals coming in, and then it uses that to signal the body. And this whole thing about connectedness, and that's why Sparkle can work over the others, whether you're in person with me or on Zoom or on a call or just connected through a text message. That's why we can work and be connected, and there can be beautiful frequency shifts. Okay, so anyways, it's Michelle Holang saying good night. It has been a pleasure being here, sharing this, my way of looking at no's, the power of no. I love the power of yes, and I love the power of now as well. But so often we don't think about the power of no, and no can have a very huge impact on your whole beingness, your whole state. When you take on too much or you do something because you weren't able to state clearly the no and stand in that no to keep yourself in your optimum state and space of safety and being all that you can be beautifully. So until the next time, first Wednesday of next month, we will see you again. Again, hope to see you on the inside if you so desire. If you have questions about no, or you want to get that list of pointers I mentioned, please DM me or email me, and we'll see you again. Good night. Have a really wonderful rest of the evening. Michelle, signing off.